Hello children, we are discussing the chapter 10, the living organisms and their surroundings. In this video, we will discuss about the kind of habitats. In my previous videos, I explained you what is an habitat. A habitat is a place where an organism lives. That is known as a habitat. Habitat has its own particular biotic and abiotic components that is known as its environment. In this topic, in the following topics, we are going to discuss about the various adaptations present in the plants and animals to live in that particular habitat. So first we are going to start with terrestrial habitats. Terrestrial word is taken from a Latin word. But in science, two languages are very helpful in making the terms, in making the terminology. One is Latin language, that is a dead language, we are not using it. And the other one is Greek language. So terra is a Latin word, and in Latin the terra means ground. So the organisms that lives on land, that lives on ground, are known as terrestrial organism, and their habitat is known as terrestrial habitat. वो ऑर्गेनिज्म बच्चे जो ग्राउंड, जो लैंड पर रहते हैं, उन्हें हम टेरेस्ट्रियल ऑर्गेनिजम्स बोलते हैं, और जो उनकी हैबिटाट है, जो लैंड है जहां पर ऑर्गेनिज्म रह रहे हैं, उसको हम टेरेस्ट्रियल हैबिटाट बोलते हैं. लैंड पर भी बच्चे काफी सारे अलग अलग तरह के हैबिटाट्स हैं, लाइक जैसे कि डेजर्ट, माउंटेन, रेन फॉरेस्ट, ये सब लैंड पर है बच्चे. तो दीज आर डिफरेंट काइंड ऑफ हैबिटाट्स इन द टेरेस्ट्रियल हैबिटाट. तो टेरेस्ट्रियल हैबिटाट के सब ग्रुप्स हैं, सब रीजन्स हैं. जैसे फर्स्ट इज डेजर्ट. डेजर्ट को हिंदी में रेगिस्तान बोलते हैं, वेयर अ लॉट ऑफ सैंड इज प्रेजेंट. Deserts are very hot during the day. The temperature may exceeds up to 45 to 50 degree. 45 से 50 डिग्री सेल्सियस तक टेम्परेचर हो सकता है बच्चे, जो बहुत ज्यादा गर्म है. एंड वेरी कोल्ड ड्यूरिंग नाइट. व्हाई? बिकॉज बच्चे सैंड क्विकली गेट्स हॉट एंड दैट मच क्विकली गेट्स कोल्ड. जितनी जल्दी सैंड, रेत जो है वो गर्म होती है, उतनी ही जल्दी टेम्परेचर फॉल भी हो जाता है. सो डेजर्ट्स have a very wide temperature range. During day it has very high temperature, and during night it has very low temperatures. बहुत ज्यादा ठंड हो जाती है. Rainfall is very very less. Annual rainfall in the desert region is less than 25 centimeter. Annual rainfall, it's a very less rainfall बच्चे. So due to deficiency of water, major plants and animals would not grow there. अब plants नहीं है तो animals नहीं होंगे बच्चे. So the vegetation, that is the plants, are very less, so due to which the animal diversity is very less. जो animals की जो विविधता, animals की जो various forms हैं, वो भी ज्यादा exist नहीं करती. But जो है, they have adapted themselves in that condition. Why? Because there is less water available. So first we'll discuss adaptation in plants of desert region. कि जो वहां पर प्लांट है उसमें कैसे एडेप्टेशन आई, कैसे उसके फीचर्स चेंज हुए, उसकी बॉडी शेप में, बॉडी स्ट्रक्चर में, बॉडी ऑर्गन्स में, कि वो वहां अडेप्ट कर गया. बाकी प्लांट वहां अडेप्ट नहीं कर रहे. मैंगो, नीम, पीपल, ये सब नहीं होता डेजर्ट में. डेजर्ट, द मेजर प्लांट विच इज फाउंड इज कैक्टाई. Cacti is plural and its singular is cactus. The more commonly I think you must have heard about the cactus. That cactus plant, that is a singular word. The plural of cactus is cacti. Cacti is the most common plant which grows in desert region. Rather than cactus, there is another plant which is known as Acacia nilotica. कीकर बोलते हैं उसको. कीकर एक्सट्रीम डेजर्ट्स में नहीं होता. सैंडी सॉइल में वो ग्रो होता है बच्चे, बट एक्सट्रीम डेजर्ट में नहीं है. एक्सट्रीम डेजर्ट ओनली हैव कैक्टाई. So cactus has certain features in it, certain adaptations in it. The first one is it has very long roots, long deep roots. Why? बच्चे water is less in the soil. पानी तो है ही नहीं, बारिश तो होती नहीं है, तो पानी बहुत नीचे है. तो रूट्स को बहुत गहराई तक जाना पड़ेगा उस पानी को एब्जॉर्ब करने के लिए, एंड फॉर दैट roots goes very deep. Roots बहुत अंदर तक जाती है, very long roots, so that it can absorb water from the depth. Second is the leaves are reduced to spines. Why? We must have studied about the transpiration. Leaves of the plants have tiny microscopic pores named as stomata. Leaves में बच्चे stomata होते हैं. Through stomata, the leaves lose their water to the atmosphere. Leaves अपने में से पानी एटमोस्फेयर में लूज कर देते हैं बच्चे. तो बच्चे अगर पानी का लॉस हो रहा है तो पानी तो डेजर्ट प्लांट के पास पहले से ही कम है, तो लीव्स जो हैं वो किसमें कन्वर्ट हो गए? स्पाइन्स में, कांटों में. एंड दैट विल रिड्यूस द वाटर लॉस. अगर लीव्स है ही नहीं तो वाटर लॉस होता ही नहीं. सो leaves are modified to spines so that reduction in the water loss takes place. So the water loss through the transpiration, through the stomata of leaves is reduced, and plants does not lose that much water. Plant will remain protected. Next, अब बच्चे जब leaves नहीं है तो photosynthesis कैसे हो, है ना? photosynthesis तो जरूरी है बच्चे प्लांट के लिए, अदरवाइज प्लांट मर जाएगा. The stem is modified to perform photosynthesis. जो बच्चे लीव्स नहीं है प्लांट्स में तो बच्चे स्टेम जो है दैट इज मॉडिफाइड, दैट इज अडेप्टेड टू परफॉर्म फोटोसिंथेसिस. स्टेम में ऐसे कुछ स्पेशल चेंजेस हो गए हैं कि स्टेम फोटोसिंथेसिस परफॉर्म करने लगी है. बच्चे पहला पॉइंट था इट हैज वेरी लॉन्ग रूट सो दैट रूट कैन गोज डीप एंड एब्जॉर्ब वाटर. सेकेंड पॉइंट, द लीव्स आर मॉडिफाइड और रिड्यूस्ड टू स्पाइन्स so that water loss by transpiration is reduced. Third, since it does not have leaves, so stem is modified to perform photosynthesis. Next, the stem of cactus or cacti is thick and fleshy. मोटी होती है और fleshy, गुदगुदेदार होती है बच्चे, मुलायम. Why? To absorb water, to store water, not absorb. जो बच्चे फ्लैशी और ये जो थिक स्टेम है ये वाटर को एब्जॉर्ब करके रखती है. जो भी थोड़ा बहुत मिल रहा है उसे एब्जॉर्ब करेगा ताकि बच्चे उस वाटर को यूटिलाइज करके वही सेम स्टेम फोटोसिंथेसिस परफॉर्म कर सके. सो स्टेम इज थिक एंड फ्लैशी टू एब्जॉर्ब वाटर, टू स्टोर वाटर, एंड एनीथिंग विच स्टोर वाटर आर नोन एज सक्यूलेंट ऑर्गन्स. एक नंबर का क्वेश्चन भी पूछ सकते हैं बच्चे. दैट्स अ वेरी गुड 1 mark क्वेश्चन. What are the succulent organs in the desert plants? So first of all, we must know about those organs. The organs which store water in a plant are known as succulent organs. And in desert plants, stem is thick and fleshy to store water. Next, the last point. The stem of the cactus has a waxy coating over it. इसके ऊपर बच्चे एक waxy coat होता है. वैक्स मतलब एक स्लाइमी सब्सटेंस जैसी कोटिंग होती है. एंड वैक्स इज इम्परमिएबल टू वाटर. और वैक्स जो होता है वो वाटर को बाहर जाने नहीं देता. तो बच्चे अगर वैक्सी कोटिंग एक प्लांट के ऊपर होगी तो जो बीच में से पानी हल्का फुल्का इवेपोरेट होना है वो इवेपोरेट नहीं होगा. तो वाटर लॉस ना हो इसके लिए स्टेम के ऊपर क्या है? वैक्सी कोटिंग प्रेजेंट है. सो द स्टेम इज मॉडिफाइड. फर्स्ट, it becomes thick and fleshy so that it can absorb water. Second, it does not have leaves, so stem performs photosynthesis. Third, the stem has a waxy coating over it, a slimy waxing coating over it, which prevent the loss of water, which does not allow the water to lose to the environment unnecessarily. So these are the adaptation in plants which occur in desert. A small activity which shows that desert plant will lose very less amount of water. We have discussed about the characteristic bache. In that characteristic we have discussed that cactus has spines. The leaves are modified into spines so that the loss of water by transpiration or through transpiration is reduced. Now we'll discuss an activity. In this activity we require 2 potted plants. In one potted plant we require a leafy plant which has broad leaves like this. And other one we require a cactus plant. It is very easily available. You can purchase it or you can grow them. we require 2 polythene bags, a thread, bind 1 polythene bag with the leaves, either 1 or 2 of this plant. Do take care of one thing, bache, that this polythene must not have any space of outside air or for outside air. इतना अच्छे से उतना टाइटली बांधना है कि बाहर की एयर अंदर ना जा सके. Likewise, bind the second polythene with the or over the leaves of cactus plant, over the stems. Cactus plants do not have leaves, bache. Leaves are modified into thick and fleshy stem. Place it for a few hours, even 1 to 2 days as well. We will observe that a large number of water droplets will get collected in the polythene bag which is placed over a potted leafy plant. हम देखेंगे बच्चे जो वाटर ड्रॉपलेट्स का अमाउंट इकट्ठा होगा वो इस पॉलिथीन बैग में ज्यादा होगा और इसमें बहुत ही फ्यू ड्रॉप्स होंगे, बहुत ही ज्यादा कम. So that will prove that leaves lose much water, but the desert plants who do not have leaves, they have spines instead of leaves. These drawing represents the spines. This thick fleshy stem. So these spines, which are the modification of the leaves, they lose very less water. So from this activity we conclude that the plants which are present in the deserts are modified or already adapted so that the water loss is reduced by transpiration. Whereas the plants which have leaves, they lost a large amount of water in the form of transpiration. So this is the activity which has a conclusion that desert plants are well adapted in the in the hot conditions and they do not lose water which is available in very less amount in the deserts. Now we discuss adaptation in the animals. Desert animals adapt themselves so that they can adapt or you can survive in that harsh desert conditions. Why? Desert do not have water, and water is the basic necessity to live. So, for example, in case of desert snakes and the rats, they lives in the deep burrows. खुद बनाकर रहते हैं बच्चे, हल्के हल्के गड्ढे बनाकर रहते हैं during the daytime. Why? Because during the daytime the temperature of the desert is quite high, and during night when the temperature is low, they come out of their burrows and find the food. That is why they are more active during the night time. That's why these kind of animals are known as nocturnal ants. The animals which are more active towards the night time, that is known as nocturnal animals. Cockroaches, they are also nocturnal. They are nocturnal insects. Likewise, the desert snakes and rats, to overcome the harsh, hot conditions, they used to live in deep burrows during the daytime, and during night, they come out of those burrows and then find their food and the basic necessities. So they become more active during the night. Likewise, we call camel as the ship of desert. Why? Because camel has several adaptations that help that camel to sustain, to live well in that desert. First, it drinks a large amount of water at once. मैंने पढ़ा कि सुना दिया बच्चे कि एक ही बार में बहुत सारा अमाउंट ऑफ पानी एक साथ पी लेता है and can stay without water for up to 15 to 20 days, even more than that. So it can drink a large amount of water and can stay without water for a large period of time. Second, it excretes a very little water in its urine, in the form of urine. Excrete means removal of waste products. वेस्ट प्रोडक्ट्स को रिमूव करना क्या कहलाता है? एक्सक्रीशन कहलाता है. वेस्ट प्रोडक्ट्स को बॉडी से बाहर निकालना एक्सक्रीशन कहलाता है. तो जो डंग होता है, जो ये वेस्ट, सॉलिड वेस्ट निकालता है बच्चे, द डंग ऑफ द कैमल इज आल्सो वेरी ड्राई, ताकि वाटर का लॉस ना हो. इट डज नॉट स्वेट, पसीना नहीं आता कैमल को. इट हैज वेरी लेस स्वेट ग्लैंड्स इन इट्स स्किन. अगर पसीना आएगा तो ज्यादा पानी का लॉस होगा. नेक्स्ट, Long eyelashes protect the eye from the sand. The eyelashes, the size of the eyelashes is quite large. Why? Because these eyelashes does not allow the sand to, enter into the eyes. So these long eyelashes helps in the protection of the eyes of a camel. Next thing, it has nostrils which can be closed. It has a lid over their nostrils. These pores of the nose are known as nostrils. These nostrils of a camel are fixed with a lid. ढक्कन जैसी structure होती है बच्चे. This lid can close, and by closing of that lid, whenever there is a thunderstorm in the desert, that sand will not enter into the nose. तो ये lid बंद हो जाएगी, nostril बंद हो गई, इस तरह से ब्लॉक हो गए, तो जो sand होगी वो nose के अंदर जाएगी ही नहीं, उसका nose ब्लॉक नहीं होगा और वो जी सकेगा आराम से. Next thing बच्चे, it has fat stored in its hump. Many people misconceptualize it that hump stores water. No, hump stores a little amount of water, but hump majorly stores the fat, and fat is the reserve food which the camel can use later on. Next, it has broad and soft feet, soft paddy feet होते हैं ताकि इसकी legs जो है वो sink ना. Next thing, it has long legs. Camel देखा होगा आपने, it has long legs बच्चे, so that the body of the camel will remain away from the sand, away from the heat of the sand. So these are the adaptations in the animals which are found in the desert region.